Hi, I'm Dr. Wintersteen. I see lots of kids in my practice and have seen kids for many, many years struggling with everything from depression to anxiety to post-traumatic stress, even kids that are suicidal from time to time. In this next module, you're going to see 4 cases based on real scenarios. What you're going to do is view them, and when you're done, sit together as a group, have some discussion about what might you do in these situations. And after you've had some time to think about it and discuss it as a group, I'll come back on and give you my thoughts. So this is not an uncommon scenario, and I suspect that maybe even in your groups, you guys have had some discussion about seeing messages kind of like this. It's really important though that we figure out, how do we get in touch with this friend? Now, one person in our scenario here has tried to reach out to her via text but hasn't heard back. So what do we do? Well, maybe it's time to make a phone call, and if you still can't get her, if you know where she lives, it might be time to stop by. Now, if she's not there, then we have an issue. How do we get in touch with somebody? We're worried about her and we need to know, where is she and is she okay? I hate to say this, but this is one of those scenarios where it might make sense to talk to her parents. I get it, you're worried. You're worried that she's gonna get mad at you, and if you tell her parents about this, that she's never gonna wanna be your friend again. That's not necessarily the case. In fact, when she realizes that you did this because you care about her, I think she'll eventually forgive you for it.
What's up with Alex? I thought he said he'd be here around 8.
I'll just text him and tell him we're gonna go by ourselves. He's been acting really weird since he quit soccer.
I know, he hasn't been the same since he quit. We haven't seen him around much either.
Yeah, he doesn't answer my texts anymore. I mean, it is a good thing we're going out tonight. He hasn't gone out in weeks.
I was really looking forward to seeing him. Should we maybe ask him what's up?
Let's just go and see what happens.
Yeah, it's almost 8:30. We should just go.
Alex, give me your keys.
I am fine to drive. I only had one drink.
You've had one drink if the cup's full of vodka. Something's not right. You're not okay.
What's wrong with you? You can't drive like this.
Nobody would care.
We care. You could die.
It's not like it would matter anyway.
So obviously the friends are very concerned about Alex. Initially they think, well, he's just been acting differently, he hasn't been engaged and hanging out as much. And so they finally get him at this party, and now he's engaging in another behavior that's different than what he usually does perhaps, which is drinking a lot. And normally we'd say, okay, well this might just be a case of he's drunk, we need to get the keys away from him so he doesn't drive home and get into an accident. But when we ask him about this, he says, well, who cares? Does it matter anyway? This is where we really need to focus. The challenge here is that Alex has probably been feeling down or depressed. He's probably been disconnected from his friends because he's been feeling this way. And suddenly what we're seeing is yet a different behavior change that's now playing out in this party scenario where he's drinking excessively and he's seeming to show zero care for his own well-being. So obviously we want to get him home safely. But this conversation needs to continue after this, not today, when he's been drinking and when he's drunk. That's not the time to have this conversation. But it's important to talk to him later about, is everything okay? I'm worried about you, and be upfront with him about your concerns. We haven't seen you in a while. You dropped out of the soccer team. what's going on with you? We're really, really worried about you. And if he doesn't want to connect with you around that, again, it's important to talk to adults about this. You don't have to rat him out to his parents and say he was at this party and he was really, really drunk, but rather, he's been saying some things that really have us concerned about him. We just want to make sure everything's okay. And similar to our first case, again, telling a parent about this doesn't mean that he's never going to want to be your friend again. Once he realizes that you're doing this because you care about him, I think he'll get over it.
Hey, I know I said I'd go home after the movie, but my parents aren't home and I don't really feel right. I'm just not feeling like myself lately. Do you mind if I stay over tonight?
No, it's not a problem.
Thanks.
Hey, did you talk to your parents about what's been going on?
No! You know how they can be.
I really think you should talk to someone.
Yeah, that's why I talked to you. Come on, please don't tell them.
Hello?
Hey, where were you? I've called you 5 times.
I just got home from practice, and I still need to eat, and I have to do chem.
But I really need you. I don't know how much longer I can do this.
Okay, yeah, what's up?
Sometimes being a friend is tough. Part of the job of being a teenager is learning how to navigate these kinds of relationships. The challenge is that sometimes our friends really need us, and we want to be helpful. The problem is sometimes it gets a little bit too difficult and it's too hard, and we don't really know what to do. And as you can see right here, she's struggling trying to figure out, should I answer this phone call? You want to be a good friend and you want to help. Sometimes the best way to help is to help your friends get connected to somebody else who can actually do this work with them. It doesn't mean you still can't have conversations from time to time, but when it starts getting in the way of you studying, doing your work, things that you need to do to kind of get things done, maybe it's time to have a conversation. And the conversation doesn't have to be, I'm not interested, I don't want to talk to you anymore. It's, I care about you so much that I'm really worried. And I'm worried that I can't help you the way that you really want to be helped. Let's see if we can work together to get you connected to somebody. You may want to talk to a parent about this. It might be your own parent, as opposed to talking to your friend's parent who's really struggling, but you want to figure out how to get connected about this. And if it's ever the case that you discover a friend of yours is talking about suicide, that's the secret we simply can't keep. So if in this scenario the one friend were to say, listen, I don't know what to do anymore, I'm just going to end my own life, or some version of that, we want to make sure that we can get connected to an adult. And just as we've said with the other cases, it's very, very important to remember that just because you're worried that your friend may not want to be your friend anymore if you tell on them, so to speak, once they realize that you're doing this because you care about them and that you really are a good friend, they'll forgive you and everything will be okay.
Yeah, so that movie is awesome. It was like Jaws 2.0.
Jaws 2.0.
I would call it that. The sharks were really cool too. Like, they didn't even look like CGI. Like it looked pretty awesome.
It's legit.
Yeah, like it looks straight.
Everyone was gonna die though. So it's just like, come on.
Yeah, and like it was so much fun too because like we just hung out as like friends and I had a really good time. And,
I had a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you, how long are you gonna be like?
Yeah. That was amazing.
Okay, and then when do you get to Florida?
And like the games.
Do you want to hang out then?
So you didn't get asked by anybody, or you just don't?
Are you
wanna
going? Mm-mm. Jared, are you?
What? Yeah, I'm just getting going.
That's sweet. I'd ask anybody either, but you know. Friends. Any friends? Yeah.
Or just like hang out with family?
Hanging out.
Okay. You're gonna do the same? Not really. You just probably stay around home.
But what if the person is you?
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, absolutely.
So what if this were you? The key here is identifying the fact that you're not really doing as well as you could before. It's not just about the grades. The grades are just a symptom of something larger than this. His grades are going down. He's not looking like he's put together the way that he usually is. Can you identify these issues in yourself? The grades are a simple thing to notice, but when you really feel like I'm struggling in some way, it's important to ask for help. I know that when you feel like you ask for help, sometimes it feels like I'm weak, there's something wrong with me, people are gonna judge me. That isn't usually the case at all. In fact, if you seek the help of a caring adult, whether that be somebody at your school, or a parent, or a professional, I think you'll discover that that will be the first step in getting better.